So, would you breathe with me, please? Take in a deep breath and release. And another one and release. And one more deep breath in. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So you may not be aware of it, but today is a significant day in our community for a couple of reasons. The first one is, dun, 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 da, da, da! Today is my 7th anniversary as the spiritual director here. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! And I cannot begin to tell you the growth and the joy and the love that I've received over these past 7 years, and also a little bit of challenge. I've shared this with you before. When I first got here, and for a little while after that, I thought maybe that I had made a big mistake. Leaving my home in California, leaving my center where I had been there for 15 years, because here's the truth. I was not an immediate hit. People didn't think I was quite as adorable as I thought I was. Not everybody cared for my style. It's true. I was very different than what they were used to, and a lot of people left. But a lot of people stayed, too. And over time, new people found their way to us as well. And together, we have built a beautiful, strong, vibrant, vital, healthy spiritual community. And through those years, people have stepped up to help in ways that I never dreamed about. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a few moments. But the other reason why today happens to be, or was supposed to be significant, let me put it that way, is because it was originally scheduled to be New Member Sunday. I love New Member Sunday. We bring all of our new members up and we do this kind of sweet little ceremony for them, and everybody welcomes them into our spiritual community. It's just absolutely wonderful. However, because of this current situation we find ourselves in, I decided to not try to make it work virtually, because our new members deserve to be welcomed in person. So we're going to hold off on that until we can be together again, face to face. That said, one of the stories that I like to tell on New Member Sunday actually fits in perfectly with my talk for today, which is, as you can see, how can I help? It's an old story. It's got many different versions of it. It comes from many different cultures. But the message, regardless of who tells it, the message remains the same. And it's called Stone Soup. A kindly old stranger was walking through the land when he came upon a village. As he entered, the villagers moved toward their homes and locked their doors and their windows. And the stranger smiled and asked, "Why are you all so frightened? I'm a simple traveler. I'm looking for a soft place to stay the night and a warm place for a meal. There's not a bite to eat in this whole town," he was told. "We are weak and our children are starving, so just keep moving on. Go on, nothing to see here." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, no problem. I have everything I need. In fact, I was thinking about making some stone soup to share with you all." He pulled out an iron cauldron from his cloak. He filled it with water and began to build a fire underneath it. And then with great ceremony, he drew an ordinary-looking stone out of a silken bag and dropped it into the water. Well, by now, hearing the rumor of food, some of the villagers had come out of their houses or were watching from their windows. And as the stranger sniffed the broth and licked his lips in anticipation, hunger began to overwhelm their fear. Ah, the stranger said very loudly to himself, I do like tasty stone soup. Of course, stone soup with cabbage? Now that's hard to beat. Well, soon, a villager approached hesitantly, holding a small cabbage that he'd had in a hiding place, and he added it to the pot. Stranger said, that's wonderful. You know, I once had stone soup with cabbage and a little bit of salt beef in it, and it was fit for a king. Well, sure enough, the village butcher shows up with some salt beef and added it into the pot. And so it went. Potatoes, onions, carrots, mushrooms, until there was indeed a delicious meal for everyone in the village to share. Now, of course, in today's climate, sharing a pot of soup is probably not something that we want to do. I think you understand that. But the message about caring for people remains. And so that's what I want to talk about today. How this virus and other crises that humans have faced through the years, how it has actually brought out the goodness and the kindness in people. Because despite the toilet paper and cleaning supply hoarding, first of all, I got to say, what's up with that? I just want something to disinfect my house. I don't need to have it for an army, but the stores, the shelves are, okay, I'm on a tangent, but the shelves are empty. I mean, come on, toilet paper, give me a break. Anyway, I'm over it. Anyway, so you got people hoarding that, and scammers are coming out. Scammers are coming out now. Come on. But what's really happening is that the majority of the people in the world are saying to one another, how can I help? How can I help? For instance, I shared earlier during my announcements that Lance Raff, one of our practitioners and also our board president, started a program a couple of weeks ago to help our members with grocery shopping or pharmacy, or, do you just need a phone call, or how can we help? Do you want a spiritual mind treatment? The practitioners are ready to do that. And we talked about it on Facebook, and we talked about it in the newsletter, and we did it here on Sundays, and we got about 20 responses, all from people who wanted to provide help. And not a one from someone asking for help. So this tells me a couple of things. One, it tells me that people might be a little reluctant to ask. And what I want to tell you is, please don't be. Please don't be. We are here and we really do want to help. It tells me that people want to be in service right now. We had 20 responses of people say, I can do that. I can do that. But the third thing that came out of that in my own mind is that we're not the only ones who are offering help. And so people are being well taken care of, which kind of proves my point. So then the question is, what is it about this collective situation that we're all going through that is bringing this compassion and this kindness and this wanting to be in service? What is it that's bringing that out? Well, it goes back to one of those spiritual principles that I always talk about, and that is that God, or the divine, or the universe, or the life force energy, or the force, or source, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you call it, it is all there is. And we are part of it. We are made of it. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are all part of it. So with that in mind, listen to what Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, wrote about the givingness of the universe. I think you'll recognize something here. He says, I believe that the whole universe is the givingness of the creative spirit to the delight of its own being into the creation, which is itself in that creation. In other words, it is giving to itself, because by giving to itself, it is also giving to all of us as well, because we are part of it. So because that's true, because we are made of the same essence of spirit or the universe, and our nature is the same. So it is natural for us to want to help and to give ourselves in whatever way that we can. Dr. Holmes also wrote this: real giving is the art of transmitting ourselves to others and to the conditions and situations that surround us. This kind of giving is not something for special occasions only, for it should become a habit growing out of the desire to live life to the fullest extent. Now, again, it's a little unfortunate that he used the word transmitting, but you understand what we mean, right? He is saying that by our wanting to reach out and help others, to connect with others, we are being true to our divine self. So I'm getting a lot of inspiration, as always, from the internet. I mean, what else are we doing, right? What else are we doing? But I saw this thing, and it kind of started me down this particular topic. And it's attributed to Margaret Mead, who is the famed anthropologist. And if you don't know about anthropology, it's the study of human behavior, both individually and culturally. So the story goes that one of her students asked Margaret Mead what she considered the first sign of civilization in a culture. What is the first sign of civilization in a culture? And the student expected Margaret Mead to talk about fish hooks or grinding stones or clay pots. And what Mead said was that the first sign of civilization in an ancient culture was a femur, a thigh bone that had been broken, then healed. She explained that in the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, you die. You can't run from danger. You can't make your way down to the watering hole to get a drink. You can't hunt for food. You are meat for prowling predators. She said, no animal survives a broken leg long enough for the bone to heal. However, she said, a broken femur that has healed is proof that someone has taken the time to stay with the person who fell, bound up the wound, carried the person to safety, and tended the person through recovery. She said, let me make sure I got this, helping someone through difficulty is where civilization starts. We are at our best when we serve others. So here's the deal. I don't know what the outcome of all of this is going to be. Will it be a defining moment in our civilization? Or it'll just be a blip? I think the choice is actually up to us. So if we allow ourselves to be swallowed up in the fear and the chaos and the dog eat dog, and let me beat you over the head with toilet paper so that I can take it away from you, if we allow ourselves to go there, then this has the possibility of going very badly for us as a race. On the other hand, if we continue to express our higher selves to the best of our ability, then I believe that we will actually turn the tide from one of destruction to one of clarity and understanding and health. That's Prince Ea, and you can find him on YouTube. Something about the coronavirus. So I want to say to you all in closing, just as he said, tell your loved ones that you cherish them, and I cherish you. Tell your loved ones that you care for them. I care for you. I will always be there for you. And I love you. I miss you. And so it is.